Welcome to this year's healthcare renewal. I wish I could be there personally, but as you know, COVID-19 has caused restricted travel. I always enjoy meeting with everybody, and we go from store to store and talk about healthcare renewal, but we also talk about some things about life. So thank you for watching this video today. Every year, the partners express their gratitude, the Gillettes, the Joyces, and the Popes. This year, even more so. We know that you've been through some incredible adversity. We also know that through your intelligence and planning and execution, we've made it much better than it could have been. You've made it much better than it could have been, and thank you for that. This renewal process, which we started last year, proved much more difficult than we thought it was going to be. We promised an innovative solution, and Karen Tanner-Smith, our Chief Accounting Officer, worked tirelessly to make this come true. In the end, unfortunately, some of the laws have not kept pace with some of the innovative solutions, and we made a decision to stay the same. We're not going to give up, but that's where we are today. The good news, based on her hard work, that the renewal process only has minor changes in the cost of the program. So we're still going to benefit from maintaining our healthcare costs. Eric Cochran, our HR Director, after this presentation, will take you through the process of how the renewal looks and how to actually renew your healthcare benefits. This is our 14th year at Summit Automotive Partners, and we continue to work on building a great company. We've always intended to listen to our employees and our guests. Our core beliefs like honesty, integrity, caring, teamwork, clarity, and excellence, dedicated to an exceptional guest experience, have always been part of our decision process. Through market research, listening to you and our customers, we've learned that the customers actually want more. Necessity has actually helped us increase the implementation of some of these ideas based on COVID-19. So the idea that all dealerships today under Summit Automotive Partners deliver vehicles to customers, pick up and delivery for service, and now we've tested and implemented buy online. We're going to start integrating it into our other dealerships, and the customer feedback has been phenomenal. In addition to the healthcare renewal, I like to talk about thoughts and some wisdom. Last year, we discussed the 12 Rules of Life by Jordan Peterson. Rule number 1, if you recall, was stand up straight and put your shoulders back. Actually, when you do, you actually have an opportunity to make more money and have a more successful career. Rule number 2 was treat yourself at least as well as somebody you're responsible to help. Why is that important? Well, what we discussed is that sometimes we don't do so, and we'll treat others better. We treat our pets much better. We talked about diet and making sure that our pets were absolutely healthy when we don't do the same for ourselves. This year, I'm going to talk about 2 things. I'm going to talk about how we communicate with each other, and I want to encourage you to keep an open mind. I believe this is important since we are in a time when mistakes are seen as intentional and others' opinions are not welcome. Think about social media. When we make a mistake, we know we're going to get a bad survey. Other businesses face the same. And if we express an opinion that others don't agree with, that it actually can get downright mean. To this point, we have done our very best individually to navigate through this confusing world. And when we find things that work, we adopt them and we create our truth, but not necessarily the truth. Now, as we're learning, kindness and patience and seeking to understand are all helpful. Counter opinions are important because they test our beliefs. And if we really listen, we might decide that we want to alter our belief. Sometimes we learn new information and actually discard our old beliefs. COVID-19 is an example of that. We have to act differently today than we did before that. Also, the cyber attack that we had. I hope we've all changed our passwords and made them much more difficult to decode, and we've had to restructure our IT system. So these are excellent examples of an event has caused us to change. Events such as these help us open our mind. It's actually easier to think differently when an event happens. It's almost instantaneous. An illness can be another reason to change, diet, exercise, but in this case, we're hoping you're proactive, as we talk about every year. So you can actually prevent an illness rather than have to act after. In the day-to-day, it's a little different. Being able to learn in a safe environment is a critical step to learning. Free of ridicule, criticism, and the grace of time to learn are all key factors to being open to learn. We've probably seen this in sports. We swing a golf club, we swing a tennis racket, or go skiing. If all we saw was ridicule when that happened, we'd probably be less likely to try it again. So keeping an open mind and being supportive is what we're asking you to do. In the last 8 years, exercise, healthy diet, mental health have all been things we've talked about. These can all make a difference in our well-being, quality of life, and our happiness. We encourage you to take the steps towards a healthier and happier life, both in your personal and in your work. Rule number 2. On the 12th of June, I turned 66. The crazy thing is, I'm more open-minded today than when I was working through my career. And I have learned that some of the beliefs I had in the past have been discarded. And I actually look at things differently. So I guess that means at 66, I can have an open mind. I know that you can do it too. I believe the second half of this year is going to be great for us. Sure, we'll have some disruption and we're going to have to work harder to get some things done. But I think some things are loosening up and we're going to have a very good second half. I'm challenging everyone to keep an open mind, to adapt, grow, and prosper, and find some happiness. Good luck in the renewal. Let's rock and roll, and let's have some fun. And now, Eric Cochran.